little bit of snow. That whole mountain should be covered. All these mountains should be covered in snow. And you know what, folks? They're not. And I'm going to tell you why they're not. Because California is facing the worst drought in 125 years. If the drought continues a couple more years, all these man-made reservoirs will cease to exist. Right now, it's one of the worst droughts, but can you imagine it'll become one of the worst droughts in 10,000 years? And that all these ghost towns and old miner cabins and pioneer homesteads that were underwater will be exposed, which is a great thing in some sense, but the lack of water, the lack of fish, and when there's less water, you get less wildlife. In 100 years, the winters continue to decline. There will be no trees. This will be a desert. This will look like Nevada and parts of Nevada where there's no trees. You just have bare mountains with, you know, the roots is what holds the dirt and the sand together. You have no trees, this will become an open desert. That's the truth. That's the reality of it. But right now, the way I see it is, I'll enjoy the water while it's here because I know next year or year after, the Stampede Reservoir may cease to exist. This is the second largest body of water in this county. We're walking right along Sierra and Nevada County. Two of the highest Bigfoot areas in the state of California almost. Is Bigfoot really going to come down here? The water used to come to the tree line, so if he could get a drink up there, you'd never see him. But now he's got to go all the way out there. There's a fish that just jumped. Or no, that's a bird. But now he's got to come out there, which puts him at risk and takes away the fact that he's elusive. He can no longer be elusive. So they'll move on to higher elevations and higher lakes that are more hidden. Because they're not going to leave tracks all the way through the sand and mud to get to that water. They're common sense creatures and they are hiding. So the whole thing is that it puts them at risk. I've seen hunters, a couple men with bows, maybe guns. If you were a Sasquatch, would you dare run to the lake knowing there's hunters around? No. Let's go ahead. Let's go down there because I want to get a family pic and we can take a break, okay? Wrap your ankle maybe. It's okay. It happens to everybody. It's happened to me too. It might be both. It's just the point of impact maybe pulled it a little. It doesn't look like you twisted it on the way down. Your foot was straight. Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't hurt at all.
But when you put weight, it does. That's kind of like my knee. If I put, I don't put much weight on my knee because I'll fall. I fell twice this week. Huh? There are eagles here. Where? There's bald eagles here, just so everybody knows. There are bald eagles that surround these meadows in this reservoir. I hope to see a bald eagle. I seen an eagle up at the Toyabe mountain range on a pole, and I took a nice video, and then I changed and I put out my camera with a picture and got a beautiful picture of him standing tall on a pole. Beautiful. That's what it's really about. It's about nature. If you can't find Bigfoot or paranormal, the least you can do is enjoy the nature something like this has to offer. Wow! No crab here. Look, there's a whole entire crawfish, or crayfish as some refer to. That is cool. Wow, that's good eating right there. It's pretty scary, huh? And when you sit here and you walk along here, and you realize that this is supposed to be underwater, this is 3 years worth of mild winters. If we didn't have mild winters, right now the snow would be melting and this reservoir would be all the way up to the tree line. But we're walking in a dry lake bed, which is perfect for finding Sasquatch prints. But on the other hand, Sasquatch is going to come to the tree line and get a drink. He is not going to walk 300, 400, 500 feet from the peninsula is down to the water. It leaves too much tracks, evidence, and then you got hunters trying to hunt the geese along the shore. There's even people out in a boat here. It's bad, man. This is it. This is what's left of the Stampede. It's physically 5 times smaller. And I've had friends that live out here. We got a lot of friends in this region since I moved here about 4 years ago. And I'm telling you, a lot of my friends have said the same thing. They've gone to places 20 years ago that I've been to, and they're like, man, the water. Where's the water? Everything's so low. Where's the snow on the mountains? Because you're supposed to be able to hike in parts of the Sierras and have snow-capped peaks for 10, 11 months out of the entire year. And it's just not possible anymore. It's just not happening. So enjoy it while you can, because this is what's left of the mighty Stampede, a once very prominent Sasquatch area with vocalization, sightings, tracks, the whole thing. And now it appears that they're just moving further and further into the wilderness where they can get a hold of wildlife and water and not deal with people. And that's the problem. This reservoir is smaller, which means that there's more people in a condensed area. So we may not get any evidence, but that's okay. We're a para-adventure group, which means we log all our adventures, even the ones we get nothing at, to show people the real reality to Bigfoot hunting and searching and seeking out the truth. It takes a lot of work and time, and you may have to go to 100 places to get one track. And that's the reality. Do not watch these TV shows. They will steer you wrong. I will only steer my members right, and that's the way it works. I will only tell you the truth. This is all I can do. We're a reputable family group. We want you to get the good, the bad, and even the drought to show you that this is affecting each year. The Bigfoot sightings and the tracks are getting less and less, and this is the reason why right here. Man, that plane came low. Look at that. That's a double-tiered wings. Wow. Sorry it's getting blurry. It's windy but wow. That plane almost went sideways. They can go upside down, those type of planes. That kind of was creepy. See, folks, we're going to hike up in that canyon. That's also supposed to be an inlet for the Stampede, and there's no water. But what we're going to do is we're going to go around this inlet. When we come on the backside and through, we'll hit the Truckee River. And we'll get some pictures of the river, see if there's any salmon running, things like that. It definitely will be worth the hike. This is not a long hike, but it is nice to be out in the high Sierras. It is nice to be able to hike around and just chill out, you know. I've seen a lot of nature today. I didn't see a lot of flowers, but I did see a lot of birds. And wonderful bird life. It's pretty awesome. Minus the muddy shoes. You gotta have muddy shoes when you're out hiking. If you don't come back with mud on your shoes, it means you didn't do enough work here. So we're taking a break, and then we'll move on. This is a Paranormal Ghost Society, and this is our chronicles. It's Lord Rick.
Is that like a glider or something?
No. This is Lord Rick.
What's the wingspan on it?
It's coming back. There's an eagle, man. Oh, come on. Did it fly into the... Oh, there it is.
Oh, it's just circling.
Gigantic bird. King of birds.
See when it goes big, it turns white. It's like a little spiral.
It's an eagle. A bald eagle. The bald eagle.
Where'd he go? Oh. Is he in the clouds? No, he's all the way over there now.
I don't see him.
He's all the way to your left.
Caw! Caw!
Look where I'm pointing. See, he's falling out of the sky, falling, going towards the lake, falling. He's about ready to get food. He's falling.
Oh, I see him.
He's going. Oh.
Blurry, stupid.
Wait a minute, he's all white. That bird's all white.
There was two birds. I think the other one was an eagle.
High up.
How high up? Like hundreds of feet, huh? That's why they say you got the eagle eye.
The eagle can see something from a mile away.
A mile? Well, I'm telling you, that one was probably an eagle with the giant wingspan, but the white bird, that's a sand crane. They have the little red on the head.
That white one went down and it never came up, and its wings were...
I could see him out there. Maybe I should go try to see if I can get a pic, huh? I'm going to go check it out. He's on the water. If that's a sand crane, that's a good picture. That's worth the video. I got to dodge plants as I run. Obstacle course. Try not to fall in the quicksand. Oh, there he is. Things we do for wildlife. Wildlife's amazing. Everybody's injured except me right now. Well, I throw out my back, but I'm pumping on adrenaline. Oh man, there's white birds everywhere. Wow. Catch that eagle. Scenery's beautiful. I had to stop because I was like, what? Snow-capped peaks? They have sand cranes here too. Sapsucker birds look just like woodpeckers. They put a hole in the tree, come back later, eat the sap. I'm just relaxing outdoors. All kinds of fishing lines are stuck in this brush. I don't think these are underwater plants. I think that these plants had grown at one time in this meadow, and then when they flooded the reservoir, that was it. They should have removed them. Like I said, you got lures and fishing lines stuck all over them, and that's bad. If you go to other parts of the lake, these twigs and branches you see, and bushes, or what once were bushes, do not grow. So take my advice, if you're fishing, and this becomes flooded again, you don't want to fish at the center. This is the center of the Stampede I'm standing in. Look, I'm in the very center. You can see water on both sides. This should be underwater as well. You definitely do not, like I said, you do not want to fish here. Fish out there. Fish along the banks where it's sandy. But here, it's just not feasible. There are people who've tried to take vehicles back on this. Notice how this is like some historic road. This is probably the road that was created where you can see nothing growing because they created the road when they built the reservoir. They had to cut down trees, or they'd have trucks come down in here. By the way, those are crawfish. Those are not crabs, I believe. The one had a crab-like body. The other one was a dead crawfish. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll be back with more. I can't see the crane anymore. But I'll zoom. If I do get one, I'll zoom in. I almost went a half a mile just to film this beautiful bird. I think that's a pelican of some kind. It's hard to see. There are sand cranes which flew off. They're very large birds. There was a bald eagle. He's just diving down for some fish. It's pretty amazing. There you go. A bird flying over along the mountains. Oh yeah. Now you understand why I love the Sierras as much as I do. 360 degrees of wilderness. Doesn't get any better than that. Woo, baby! How does it not get any better than that? I know sometimes I'm a little bit on the crazy side, but aren't we all? Isn't this truly what life is about? Nature, the strange, the unknown, truth-seeking. Not just truth-seeking of the paranormal, but also seeking the truth within yourself. Because you have to seek the truth within yourself to be a good paranormal investigator. And people don't understand how being an investigator works. They think, hey, I'm watching these shows, I'm a paranormal investigator, and that's just not simply feasible nor true. It takes more to become one. It's experience, it's field work, and having the know-how for safety. Like Tammy jumping across, it's not safe, it's doable, but she chose to do that instead of cross this one area and just grab my hand because it was a little muddy. It's like, well, I'd rather take the mud than break an ankle or a leg, and she pulled the muscle near her knee. So she'll kind of be out of commission for a bit, but I'm standing on, well, this wouldn't be a peninsula. This is supposed to be all underwater. You can tell by the fishing lures. This, up to the tree line, is where the water is supposed to be, and this is how low it is. So technically, I'm standing where the lake should be, and I stood in the middle of the Stampede. I got a selfie because this is like a once-in-a-lifetime type of thing. But we'll bring you more footage. We're going to head to the Truckee River. We're going to go up. The river comes out here. It's very wide. We're going to follow the river and look for some tracks. And then we'll head back on our hike. It's been a great day, but the winds are picking up. Very quiet. I had a friend that told me, I have a few friends that live back east, and they told me, oh, I love where I live, it's country, it's beautiful. And then I had some friends look at my pictures recently of some of the ranches up in the mountains, and historic sites, and scenic locations we hike at, and they're like, wow, that's God's country, nothing. They're like, where you live is even better than the country. I'd never be indoors. I'm like, now you understand why I'm always going out. And our viewers are lucky enough because they're physically able to see the places we hike at and visit. And we share all our pictures and videos with everybody. We're not selfish. That costs us money to do. When you're looking at these videos and you go to our website and you see the pictures and all that good wholesome, all the good wholesome things we bring to our viewers, please remember it costs a lot of money to do what we do, to bring the nature, and we get injured, we get muddy, we get wet, we find paranormal things, we find strange things, we find nature. The realistic point of view of the investigating is we show you everything. The nature, the scenery, the foliage, the types of flowers, anything strange, the history if there is history. And so it's strange in itself that drought has affected this area so bad that one of the largest bodies of water in this county, I'm standing in the middle of. Something's wrong with this picture. I am in the middle of the reservoir. Pretty intriguing. And there's two dams. Dam 1, or levee, looks more like a levee, and dam number 2, which appears to have less dirt and more concrete, as opposed to the other one might be clay. I'm not sure, I have to look more into it, but I know there's two dams. And so they dammed off the area and filled it with water, but I can assure you that the water's not up to the dam, and this is very low. And in a few years, this place won't even exist. Do we cherish it now? Yes. Yes. Bringing you something like this in itself is just amazing. So please remember, donate. Even if it's $1 a month. Just shoot us $1 a month. Just tip us for our videos, tip us for our pictures and our website so we can continue to pay for our expensive website, gear. I have to replace cameras all the time. We need the help. Please help us. Please. Check us out, www.paranormalghostsociety.org. It's your founder, Lord Rick. Peace be with you. Grenade! Lift that up in the sky, man. Let's see that grenade. Who needs a weight that big? That's what you use in the ocean to shark fish. It's like a 2-pound weight, man. I've caught stingrays in the ocean. Weight 5 times the size. Hold on. Hold it up straight. I'm videotaping. Up high, just like one hand. There you go, the grenade stance. Ready? Let me get a pic too. Stay back. That's panorama time. That weight does look like a grenade. It's pretty funny.
Take another one over.
Who needs a weight that big? I mean, it's not like there's 20-foot waves here. This isn't Hawaii. You're not fishing in some ocean cove. I wonder why the idiot broke the line, or some idiot had. It doesn't matter. Some idiot had to be fishing with that, and they lost it. And you know how much a weight like that cost?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, what is that? A $10 weight? That's pure metal. I could take that and sell the metal for scrap. It's so heavy. It's like 5 pounds, man.
I like it.
Crazy, huh? You never know what you might find. It might be strange when you find things like that. It may not be paranormal, but we also do 410 and oddities and weirdness. Anything strange you come across, even if it has an explanation. There's a butterfly. Even if it has an explanation, it's still strange and pretty cool to film and show off. Wow, that thing's huge, man. I feel like wow.
Just dropping, man. Look at it.
It's a grenade. Grenade time. I'm going to go up on that hill and get a nice shot from above. It's getting windy. It's getting windy. Whew. Love it. I stood all the way out on that peninsula. Where you see the peninsula go out all the way in the middle of the Stampede Reservoir, at the end of the peninsula is dead center. Right in the middle. You can't get any closer to the Stampede Reservoir, or a lake. Some people refer to it as a lake. But I stood in the very center. And you can't see them now, but over to your right are snow-capped peaks behind those woods. And to your left you have other peaks. And then the Truckee River dumps out, the Little Truckee River, into this part of this inlet or cove, which, as you can see, is also getting lower in water. On both sides it is. It's pretty cool. The lake is about 50 feet down, maybe more. In this area it's about 80 feet down. And there's Jared and Tammy. Have to be careful. There's a lot of loose rock up here, but I'm weaving in and out of this, what I call is a water plant forest, or we could call it an underwater dead forest, because this was all underwater at one time, and now you have a bunch of dry plants. But I can go all the way down here. There's a road you can follow, and it'll take us near the Truckee River. So today we're kind of bringing you bonuses of everything. We hiked earlier along Sagehen Creek, stood out in the middle of the Stampede Reservoir, and now we're going to the Little Truckee River, but it's still the Truckee River. So we're bringing you also the Tahoe National Forest. These are things that normally you would not get to see. This is a new part of the Sierras, and it's here for the taking, and we should take advantage of it. I found thousands of hiking areas, and then when the trail ends, you just keep going. Disappear into the woods. You'll find Bigfoot. You'll find Bigfoot. It all comes down to if you really want to hike and put in the effort. I'm not talking about sitting near your car and just waiting and watching. I'm talking about physically going out there and looking for cryptids, monsters. So we're going to go ahead and hike down through this. My son called them cattails, but they're not. When you take a closer look, you can see they seed at the top, and then below is a very tough stalk to actually keep fish and other species away. They have some spikes and bark. You have 3 to 4 different plant species that grow. Now, I'm not saying some of them did not grow after the receding of the reservoir, but a lot of these were underwater. And you can see I'm trying to weave in and out of them. It's almost like being in a cornfield. It's an odd feeling. Welcome to global warming, folks. This is what it's about. Wow, it's crazy. So we're almost out of the bush, brush, whatever you want to call it. Dead underwater forest of spikes. It's what they look like, spikes or water cactuses, as I call them. But we'll go out to the Truckee River. We'll even look for tracks. We'll try to find some waterfalls along there. Here's a shotgun shell. Totally blown. There is wood cutting here. There's also some hunting. I've seen people with bows. It's obviously a plentiful area. Used to have some of the best fishing back in the day. So you can see why there could be Bigfoot. Think about it. It's easy for it to come through on the north side. This is the north side. Come down from the north side and go right back up into the wilderness and mountains where there are no trails or human beings. Where there could be caves and dens and anything. It's a million places to hide. Up in a tree, for Pete's sake. Anything's possible with a place like this. You're surrounded 360 degrees by woods and mountains. Hundreds of miles of mountains and wilderness. Makes you feel kind of small, doesn't it? Out of the bush. Out of the bush. Head into the Little Truckee River. We'll be back with more footage. This is Lord Rick, aka AngelOfThyNight. You know, like the superhero. I'm like a superhero, AngelOfThyNight. Wear the cape, catch the bad guys. Perch up on a skyscraper, pretend I'm a gargoyle. Same with Bigfoot, just climb a tree and just wait for him. Yeah. Just kidding. Better make light of the situation, especially when you got wet feet and muddy shoes and you got mud up your ass. Make light of the situation. Because if you pout and you have a negative attitude, you'll have negative results. You have a positive attitude, you'll go in the bush and you'll come out of there with Bigfoot footage or tracks. It's a game of waiting and it's a game of patience. It's also a game of working so hard that you'll hike till you can't stand no more, and when you're about to collapse, that's when you'll collapse in front of a set of Bigfoot tracks. That's really what it's about. That's what it means to be a Bigfoot investigator, to do what I just did. And I'm not bragging. Think of me as your mentor, your friend. Don't think of me as some para-celebrity, because I'm not. I don't want to be. I just want to be a professor in the paranormal and teach people safety and about wildlife and precautions outdoors and histories, like a historian, so you can learn things. And along the way, maybe see some of the paranormal, real paranormal, not CGI, not anything made up, just straight up strange and paranormal, done by the hard work crafted with our hands and our cameras and our equipment, and using, it's science meets logic. Science and logic together produces good results with patience and hard work. That's the key to being a good Bigfoot investigator. We'll be back. Looks like a desert, doesn't it? In 100 years, it just might be. Things are changing. So is climate. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen.
At the top of the reservoir, that's why that road is there.
Huh. The top of the reservoir? You know what's crazy? Is this is the deepest area probably, and look, it's almost exposed. 3 more years from now, there'll be nothing here like the other end. This is bad. This is scary. The water's disappearing out west. Can you imagine if Lake Mead dries up in Vegas? It'll be the world's biggest ghost town. 3 million people will evacuate. It'll be the ghost town of the year. The ghost town, no, let me change it. It'll be the ghost town of a lifetime. There will not be a bigger ghost town than that. Casinos that are 15 stories, 20 stories will be vacated. People will be coming out to Vegas just to explore the ghost town of Vegas. Because no water means no sewage, means no drinking water, no showers. You're in the desert, Mojave, you're done. And if it's drying up this bad in Northern California, can you imagine the Mojave Desert in Vegas? I could. This is the bottom of the reservoir. There's nothing left. Imagine this in the Jurassic period, dinosaurs, just big ones that weigh 3, 4, 5 tons, just trudging through this area back before there was even a reservoir. Wow. It's amazing. Almost scary when you look straight down and think, Holy crap. Big boats used to come through here, and now look, they could bottom out on the sandbars here.
It's a small animal.
A small animal hip bone. We just discovered it all at the same time, so all three get a little bit of credit. Did Bigfoot eat this? Probably not. But it's still a bone, and it does show there are animals, and there are predators that eat animals. The bone's cracked, so it's been in the sun a very long time. It's bleached. It's probably a few years old. It was at the bottom of the reservoir at one time. And look where it's located. Just in the middle of no man's land. There's a little Jeep road. This is not supposed to be here. But now that the reservoir is drying up, people are kind of making roads or travel routes. And because of it, you can see the wear and tear. It's just cutting through the reservoir. This was all dry land almost. There was a couple ponds before they dammed it off and made it a reservoir. Winds are picking up. We'll have lunch at the river. We'll be shielded by the canyon and the trees, hopefully, so it won't be as windy, I'm hoping. If it's not as windy, it'll be a pleasant picnic. But we're out in the open, so it's going to be windier out here. A lot of birds. I've seen so many bird species. I didn't see a lot of flowers. This place has a lot. And of course, in some pictures people are posting, there are flowers, but you really got to go around the meadow and look for them, because you may only get one or two in a 100-foot span.
I think May and June are better.
Yeah, but we'll be hitting so many other awesome meadows in May and June. I have other ones, like Hermit Valley is a big meadow that goes like 3 miles. And it's filled with flowers, filled with them. Wow. The bottom of the Stampede's right below. I just heard a gunfire too. I wonder why Bigfoot doesn't come around here anymore. Look, we have a friggin' sandstorm kicking up. It's like a desert out here, man. It's like a desert. Sand is blowing in our mouths, our eyeballs. Look at this. Sandstorm. This is what I mean. This is what global warming does. It turns lush mountainous areas like these into deserts. And guess what? The forest will be at 10,000 feet and up, like in central Nevada. You have to go 10,000 feet to hit the forest, which is bad. It's bad because everything below the forest is desert. And there's nothing to hold this dirt, which means that it just gets stirred up by the wind. There's less water. This will be desert. Give it 100,000 years. The trees will be at the tops of the mountains, and this will all be a giant dust bowl with a bunch of dust devils. And that's it. It's happening, folks. The globe is changing as we know it. And we must face up to the facts. This will be gone. Some of these places you see now, enjoy them now, because I may be one of the last adventurers to get places like these. Some places burn down. Some places, they cease to exist anymore. Wow, wow, wow. Unbelievable. Dust storms. That's it?
Oh, good.
Throw some muscle into it, man. Save the club. It's a good weapon. Wow, love the lone tree stump. Like the Lone Star, the lone tree stump. What happened to the lake? What happened to the lake? No, I don't.
You see that rock right there with the little white speck on it?
Not that.
He's right next to it.
No, this one that's super blue.
Oh, I see him. He's on a rock right there.
Oh, I see him.
Yes.
See the one down there on the rock, the super blue one? Down towards the green?
Yeah, yeah. Now I lost him again. Oh, there he is. That's a pretty bird. Some rare birds here. The one bird had such pretty purple. Wow. I don't know what kind of bird that is, but there are multiple blue birds, or blue colored birds around Nevada and Northern California. I know my video's not that clear. Right now I have 3 particles in my lens, and I have 3 particles in my lens right now. I got to take it in for a cleaning tomorrow. It affects my video footage because you can't focus. If you zoom in, it won't focus on the birds. If any of my footage of the birds, a little bit of fuzzy or grainy, it's because we just did a trip out to Austin. We went through deserts that were 30 miles across, 40 miles across. And as soon as you get out to take pictures or film, or whatever you decide to do, right away, bam! The lens just gets dust inside, not outside, because I can clean the lens outside. It gets dust inside, and so it makes it hard. Because after major expeditions in the woods or Sierras, or out in the high desert, or when we were out near Austin and Kingston, and the pictographs, and the Takima range, and the Toyabe range, my camera really was a glutton for punishment. It's kind of affecting this trip. I'm not able to zoom in very much while filming. It blurs because it reads 38 points, and if 2 of those points have speckles, it will not form around the bird, for example, for clarity, and that sucks. But I did get some good pictures, and I did try to get a close-up video of a pelican and that bluebird, which I think I succeeded at, and let you guys enjoy nature. Not just Bigfoot, but nature altogether. Now, the Truckee River is through here, and what we'll do is we'll go around, which is Reservoir, and it meets up with the river, and then we'll have a picnic lunch. I want to have a picnic lunch at the river because there's waterfalls, it's pretty. We could cut across here, and we could cut right back into Sagehen Meadows and make a loop around back to the Jeep. All in all, it's been a very great day. Just no Bigfoot tracks. We've seen some weird animal tracks and things like that, of coyotes, wolves maybe, but nothing really that stands out. A bone or a big rock on a tree stump, which weighed like 30 pounds. Just stuff like that. Even the global warming is kind of paranormal in itself. This is not normal what you're looking at. So it's definitely worth filming and putting on our site, just so you could see the effects of the drought in Northern California. Worst drought in 125 years, soon to be 1,000 years. This could be a 10,000-year-old drought, which means that this could all be desert one day, and it might just be. You've seen the sandstorm. It's happening now. Do you see it? It's happening. This is a jawbone. What do you think it's off of? A coyote, maybe? Looks like a mandible.
Those are... It's got incisors, so it's a meat eater.
Definitely a meat eater. That's the second bone we found. Interesting. I'll tell you what, there are predators here, that's for sure. Sure, there are predators here, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to film that just so you could see what we're talking about. That's all we found today is a few odds and ends, and you could say it's a little strange. Like I said earlier, seeing the reservoir this low, this should all be a reservoir. It's drained. So we can do a story on our site about global warming, and I think I'm going to do an article about that because they could say the planet is not heating up. Our summers in the last 3 years have increased 10 degrees. In the last 4 years, all the reservoirs are 3 times to 5 times lower in elevation. The water level, it's receding. This is what you get. No reservoirs means that a lot of these towns around Lake Tahoe could become ghost towns because they get their water from reservoirs like these, and smaller towns like Truckee. It's rough. If you don't have enough water to supply 10,000 people living up in the mountains in this area, you don't have sewage, you don't have water, you don't have nothing to shower with. Basically what happens is people start to leave the town. Water was a problem in some of the ghost towns we went to, and they died. They became...
A road that goes right through the woods.
Oh, let's go to the Truckee. I want to be in the woods. And then when we're done having our picnic, we'll cut up through here and head home. That way we loop around and we get to see everything. But I'm glad you found that. Told me where it is. I didn't know. I had no clue there was a road that went off towards where our vehicle is. Because if it goes off that way, our Jeep is parked on the other side of these hills. But this should all be reservoir. All this. And it's gone. It's creepy, man. Creepy. I don't have to find Bigfoot. This alone is scarier than Bigfoot to me. Because this tells me that in a couple years, one of the biggest bodies of water is going to be gone, eradicated. You can't create water. You rely on the snow to melt and the rain, and if you don't have that, you have no reservoir. This reservoir is going to be gone in a few years. This sand blowing up is going to become like a desert, and if it gets over 100 degrees in the summer, these trees will turn brown and dry. And you give that put 1,000,000 years on that, and it's going to look just like northern Nevada, if not worse. Mars heated up. Mars is oxidized. It's red. It's just a vast desert. There are no plants. You can imagine Earth oxidizing. That's all you'll have is a rocky surface. And all the moisture will oxidize and go back into the ground for thousands of feet. And you will have nothing on this planet. It will look like Mars someday. This is just the beginning of it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the beginning. Wow. Just startling. Very startling. That's all I gotta say. What the heck? Wow. Sorry folks, I was taking pictures of it, so I only got a brief clip, but that is a large helicopter. And I took a brief pic as it went over the ridge. And then I was filming up above. It was following this road, and then it veered left over the reservoir. I think it's, like Tammy said, it's probably going to get some water from the reservoir, and then it's going to dump on a fire. There's probably a fire somewhere. They would never pick up water unless there was a fire in the area. I hope that fire is not anywhere nearby. I hope there's no fire at all, but usually what happens is when you see that, it means they're getting ready to dump on a fire. That's the red bucket on the bottom. It picks up gallons and gallons and dumps it. Pretty scary, huh? Seeing it fly towards you. It almost looked like it was going to crash in those woods. It flew so low. I got a whole video showing how low it got to the trees. That's crazy. That's how precise these pilots have to be. Precision within the trees so they can come down and scoop the water without hitting the trees. It's so windy out, that helicopter could crash, man. It's not safe. It's not safe. Wow. That was intense, huh? Yeah. Today is full of surprises. The only thing left to do is see Bigfoot running across the meadow. And then I'll be mad because my camera has specks of dust, so it doesn't want to focus real far away on video. So I'll be like, I'm getting it cleaned this week. I'm sending it in for cleaning because I have to continue to keep my gear up so that I can continue to bring good footage. And when it starts getting rainy, there's no reason to ever put out that type of footage. Only the best. I want to put out the best. And the best way to do it is to have good footage. Just drop water, maybe it's done, maybe it's been put out. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the Little Truckee River.